Scripture uses a number of terms to refer to the physical or material aspects of our human nature. Most frequently, it uses the word body to say that human beings are made of real physical substance. As Jesus said of our human nature in Matthew chapter 10, verse 28, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell." In this verse, Jesus used the term body to refer to our physical qualities, in distinction from our soul or immaterial qualities. Besides using the term body, the Bible also speaks of our physical qualities as flesh in places like Colossians chapter 1 verse 24, flesh and blood in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50 and Hebrews chapter 2 verse 14, and flesh and bone in Genesis chapter 2 verse 23. And the term strength refers to our physical capacities in Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5 and Mark chapter 12 verse 30. Obviously, the body consists of many different parts. At times, the body is referred to collectively as the sum of its parts, as in the term members in Romans chapter 7 verse 23. But the Bible also identifies many parts on their own, like hands, arms, feet, eyes, and so on. But while we could create a very long list of every body part that Scripture mentions, it would serve little purpose. Following Scripture's lead, theologians have been content to understand each of these parts as belonging to the larger whole we identify as our physical body. Now, it's important to recognize that our physical bodies aren't just temporary. They're necessary aspects of our existence and important parts of our human nature. Our bodies begin when we're conceived, and they remain with us throughout our earthly lives. And even though our physical bodies are separated from our immaterial souls at death, they continue to be part of us. This is one reason that Scripture often speaks of the dead as existing in their graves and identifies dead bodies as the same people they were in life. We see this with regard to Jehoiada, who was said to be buried with the kings in the city of David in 2 Chronicles chapter 24 verses 15 and 16. And in Acts chapter 13 verse 36, Peter spoke of David being buried with his fathers. Jesus' friend Lazarus was also said to be personally in his tomb in John chapter 11 verse 17. And Jesus himself was said to lie in the grave before his resurrection in Acts chapter 13 verses 29 and 30. Furthermore, in the general resurrection at the end of the age, the body of every person that has ever died will be raised to face God's judgment. At that time, our souls and bodies will be reunited, and they will never be separated again. The redeemed will rise to new life in the new heavens and new earth, but the wicked will rise to condemnation and everlasting bodily torment. Listen to Jesus' words in John chapter 5, verses 28 and 29. "A time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear the Son of Man's voice and come out. Those who have done good will rise to live, and those who have done evil will rise to be condemned."